Speakers and leaders, welcome to LiveWords. Now, if this is your first time joining LiveWords, welcome. You are in for a treat. So actually, first, I do want to explain, how does LiveWords work? So again, my name is Kit Pang. I'm the founder of BostonSpeaks. So how does LiveWords work? So on the day of the event today, 6 random speakers will also be chosen to answer this question: what life lesson would you share if tomorrow was your last day on earth? Okay, so every speaker that will get randomly chosen, I'm going to show the names later, and if you do want to speak, type it into the chat so I can add you on there as well. Each speaker will have 6 minutes to talk. At the end of 6 minutes, okay, I am gonna be the voice. I'm gonna say beep beep beep, something like that, and I want you to know then it's time for you to close it. But in your 6 minutes, you'll need to be able to share a real life story that taught you a lesson that you'll never forget. Okay, and the thing is, I'm super excited tonight because we have 3 amazing speakers with us. They are good friends. They are like just not just great speakers, but really great human beings. We have Catherine Storing, we have John Duke Logan, we have Alex Bynum, and they are just great human beings that you will meet a little bit later on. But I want to ask, if any of you want to speak, I'm going to put your name right now into the speaker wheel. So I have some names already. So if you are actually here, some people put their names, but they're not here yet. But if you want to speak, can you please type it into the chat right now? And if you actually are not here, well, actually, no. If you're not here, of course, you won't be able to hear me. So if you are here, can you say, yes, my name is here on the list, okay? So I want to keep on adding your name to the wheel right now. So if you do want to speak, yes, the speaker wheel, let me know if your name is up there, because I'm going to choose the first 2 speakers first, and then we'll go down to it later. Eileen is here. Who else would like to speak? I have some other people that's on here, but okay, Essie, I'm going to add your name right now. Okay, Eileen, I'm going to add your name. Oh, I forgot. Eileen, I thought I'd added your name to the wheel. I did not. I guess not. Essie, who else? Who else would like to speak? We have a lot of people that signed up, but right now, unfortunately, they are not here yet. So I want to give this a quick second. Yeah, this is the speaker wheel. You can go on the wheelofnames.com. So we have 2 speakers right now. Some other speakers might be joining us. So again, when you put your name, after I choose a name, you're not going to go up yet. Our amazing featured speakers are going to go up first. After they are all done, you'll get your chance to go. You're going to have 6 minutes to share a life lesson that you have learned. So I want to say, everyone, welcome. If you are watching live with us right now, let me know actually, where are you from? Type it into the chat. And if this is your first time speaking, I would love to hear that too. Or maybe you've been speaking for a while. Type that into the chat as well. Okay, since we have only 2 people, right now, I still want to use the wheel of names to see who gets picked first. Okay, so we have Eileen and Essie. Here we go. Let's see who's going to be picked first. Let me make this full screen for the full effect of things. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boop, 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 boop. Who's it going to be? Essie. Woo! Okay, so Essie, you're going to go first. Okay. Did you all like that? Like that wheel of names? That's a good one, huh? So Essie, you are going to go first, and then Eileen, you will go after her, okay? So later on, when more speakers, if you ever want to speak, just let me know, and I can pull your name right on up here. But let me X this out for now. Okay, I hope that you are all excited, because our featured speakers are going to be coming up, and I'm going to introduce them right before they come up. And our first speaker of the day is going to be Catherine Storing. She is a best-selling author, a 2-time TEDx speaker, one of my best friends. She is amazing. Before you give your talk, actually, Kat, I want to bring you up on stage. Let's have a quick chat. Kat, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Now, there's something that you all have to know about Kat. She delivers with energy every single time she speaks. She is authentic. So, Kat, if our audience don't know too much about you yet, can you actually tell us a little bit more about you?
Absolutely. I wanted to give you first props for the wheel of names. Very fancy, my friend. So for those that don't know me, have not seen me on social media yet, I want you to know that I am a recovering introvert. And yet I have delivered not one, two TEDx talks. And I actually do a lot of speaking. I spoke twice last week. I'm speaking next week. And the reason why I'm sharing that is because, and also before I forget, you may hear a little bit of an accent, and that's because English was not my first language. I actually did not speak English until I was 20 years old. Why am I saying that? Because I'm also the author of a whole bunch of books, and I actually have written books as a ghostwriter for some pretty fancy pants people. I'm sharing that because I want you to know that sometimes you see people and you might be overwhelmed and say, oh my God, they have accomplished so much. There's no way. They probably grew up doing that, or they're like naturally gifted, or they're such introverts and they do it so easily, and it probably was so easy for them all the time. I just want to share with you that neither of those things were true for me. I had to learn. I had to make mistakes and push myself out of my comfort zone to get to where I am today. So if you want to do great things, and and also I'm 44. I'm going to be 45 in a few months. So age, language, the way that you are, nothing can get in the way of what you want to do. Thank you.
Kat, that's amazing. Thank you so much just for sharing a little bit about yourself. So you are actually up first. The question for everyone and yourself is, if tomorrow was your last day on earth, what lesson would you share? So ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Catherine's stories. Kat, I'm going to give you the stage for you to answer that question and for you to share your story. So Kat, all yours.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. I have been thinking about this for a while. And the title that I gave my talk is Don't Put Off Quitting to Tomorrow. Okay? Don't put off quitting till tomorrow. So I have actually quick six things that if I hadn't done them, I would not be able to do them today. And then I'll culminate with the last one. The first one is going to Spain. My last year of college, I was able to go abroad for about 2 weeks, all expenses paid. And if you haven't been to Spain and you're a foodie and you love wine and you love all the things, you have to go the moment everything opens. So if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't said yes to that opportunity, I wouldn't be able to do it now because everything is closed. Okay. Number two, I have delivered 2 TEDx talks in person, okay? I decided in my heart of hearts that I was going to deliver a TEDx talk. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I had no idea what the requirements were. I just knew. I knew in my heart of hearts that I had to do it. And I set that intention. And within a week of setting that intention, that's when I met my good friend, Kit Peng. And like they say, the rest is history. So after 2 years, I was able to deliver my second one. And that was even more scary, but it was amazing. I literally know people that have to give their talks via Zoom. Not quite the same. They were not able to stand on that red dot and take the picture with the letters that said TEDx behind and the lighting that's blinding you. I got to do that twice because I did not wait. I did it when it was available to me. The fourth thing that I was able to do is speak at Inbound. If you haven't been to Inbound is one of the biggest marketing conferences in the United States, okay? Oh my God, so amazing. Thousands of people coming from all over the world. The year that I applied, okay? Did you know who else was speaking? Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama spoke the same year that I delivered my talk. And it was amazing. Not for nothing, but I was able to be myself 110%. It was so powerful. You can actually watch it on YouTube. If you type Catherine Storing Inbound, you'll be able to see it. Powerful talk. Guess what? Inbound last year, virtual. This year, I don't know if they'll do inbound in person again. So if I hadn't done it when I did it, guess what? I wouldn't be able to do it the way that I was doing to do it live with an audience. The fifth thing, probably the biggest thing that I have done that I'm so glad I did, is I quit my 6-figure job back in 2016. I was shaking, okay? I was freaking out. I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I was turning 40, and I knew that if I didn't do it, there was something on the inside of me that was not gonna be able to happen. And I did it. If I wanted to do it now, I probably wouldn't do it because the way the economy is, but I got to do it then. And the sixth thing that I'm glad I did not wait to do, and if life ends tomorrow, I already did it. It is DONE, done. I wrote my first ever novel, okay? I wrote a whole bunch of books, but the thing that I'm really excited about is this novel. Now, why am I so excited about it? I wrote it the summer of 2016. Yeah, the same year that I quit my job, I wrote that novel. And like everything else, I continued to write books. I was a ghostwriter. I was traveling for speaking, and I was just so busy. So I didn't have the time to edit the novel. Let me know if that ever happened to you. You do something amazing, you get it started, and you're not able to finish it, okay? So I edited the novel, and it's just life got too busy. Well, now I have the time, right? So when I was setting up my year, my 2021, I decided, you know what? This summer, I am going to edit my novel. And then something on the inside of me said, you know what, Catherine, flip it. Why don't you edit the novel right now? Right now. So I began to edit the novel. Can I tell you what happened? Can I tell you? Oh my God, I am blown away by this, and I hope that this is helping you. When I began to read what I wrote in 2016, I cannot even believe my eyes, because the person that wrote it is not longer me. But that version of me needed to write it. If I tried to write that novel today, it will not happen. I don't have it in me. I'm a whole different person. But because I did it when it was available to me, because we never know what opportunities we're going to have later on. But because I did it, then I cannot take that time back. But as I read it, that novel is speaking back to me. It is written. It is, I don't know how to describe it. Like I have matured as a writer, as a person, as a woman, as a mother, as a daughter, as everything. And I'm so very glad that I did not wait, because that would have been gone. Like that novel needed to be birthed, even if it's just for me, because as I read it, it just soothes my soul in ways that I cannot even imagine it. And even as I read it, it's like I'm reading it for the first time, even though I wrote it. So those 6 things that I was able to do in that time, in those years, in those moments that are never, ever gonna be able to come back, have changed my life. And it reminded me, as I was putting this list together, that life is what we make it. And we don't know, especially with what's going on in the world today, we don't know if we have tomorrow. So I know that I'm here today, and I'm so glad that I did not wait to do all those things until tomorrow, because today is all we have. Thank you so much.
Wow, Kat, thank you so much for sharing. I have a follow-up question for you. When you were first writing your book, how difficult was it? Because I keep on hearing, oh man, it's super difficult to write a book.
Well, it was difficult enough that it took me 20 years to write my first book. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have a support system, if you don't know where to start, it's going to be hard. But guess what? It took me 20 years to write the first one. I wrote 24 books 5 years after the first one, because I had the help and I knew what I was doing.
Wow. So if you are someone listening in the audience right now, and if you want to write a book, Kat wrote more than 20 books. You can definitely do it too. And of course, go ask Kat for more advice, because she's such a pro at it now, and she has a whole system down. But Kat, thank you just so much for sharing the stage with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Kat. Well, everyone, thank you. We just had Kat Storing come on up and speak. And if you are loving this content right now, press the like button. And if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet at BostonSpeaks, we have LiveWords that happens every single month, and also great interviews as well. We actually, our next speaker, we just had an interview with him, and his name is John Duke Logan. Now, John is a keynote speaker and a professional magician. He has been invited to 3 TEDx events to speak on innovation and teamwork strategies. He's a published author of 2 books. He also got a standing ovation on America's Got Talent, nicknamed by the media the team magician for the New England Patriots, after having his own show with different players each week, showcased to 7 million people. John is a great friend. I'm going to bring him up and have a little chat first before he actually gets on to do some talking. So John, welcome. How are you, my friend?
Hey, how's it going? Hello, everyone out there, wherever you are.
Hey, so John, actually, can you share a little bit? How did you get into like being a magician and what you're doing now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm going to touch upon a little bit in the story. I'm going to talk about it in a few minutes. But I was actually 12 years old and I was really bored at my aunt's birthday party. So I went to the room, started making up magic tricks, and I put them online. And I filmed myself performing them, put them online. And then a talent agency found the videos, had no idea how I was doing them. So I signed a contract with them as one of their youngest creative consultants ever. So I would help other magicians create tricks and script out their shows and stuff like that. So it really just kind of took off from there. And that's one part of the story, but I'm also going to tell you another part of the story, you know, when my section up when I tell you the story. So yeah, so definitely stick around. But yeah, I've been doing it for a long time now, and I love doing it.
All right. Well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, John, I'm going to give you the virtual stage. So the question is, of course, what if tomorrow was the last day on Earth? What lesson would you share? Everyone, John, Duke, Logan.
Cool. All right. So I want to try a quick experiment with you guys. I'm gonna repeat the same sentence to you in a moment. I want you to notice how you perceive the sentence differently based on which part I focus on. So here's the sentence. I never said she stole your money. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna say it again. I never said she stole your money. 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 So what's the lesson there? Based on where we focus our attention in life can really, influence and perceive our situations. As kids said, I've been a professional magician, for the past 15 years. But many people ask me, where my passion for magic came from. And I was 12 years old, and my mom and I went to Boston for the day. And it was a chilly fall afternoon in October, and we were about to head back home. But as we turned the corner, I saw an old wooden sign hanging up over a red door, and it said "Magic Shop." So we looked at each other and shrugged our shoulders and decided to go in there for a minute or so because, well, it's a magic shop, and why not? So as I walked in there, there are props everywhere: David Copperfield memorabilia, David Blaine posters, Penn and Teller autographed gimmicks and stuff like that. And I went up to the counter and I met one of the employees named Paul, and he was doing a card trick to a small group of people. And then I noticed a green sign on the wall over Paul's shoulder that said, "The door is never locked." And I asked him what that meant, and he said, we're open 24/7, and at any moment during any day, people can come in. We've never locked the doors. And I said, wow, this is a cooler place than I thought it was. So he started pulling out scars out of his hand, coins behind my ear, and cards were cartwheeling out of the deck as my eyes, widened and my jaws dropped. And he said, well, John, before you go, let me ask you a question. Have you heard of the name Harry Houdini? And I've heard the name before, but I didn't really know too much about him. And he said, well, Paul said, Harry Houdini was one of the most successful magicians of all time. He died in 1926, but had a major influence on the magic industry. And the funny thing is that he was known as a magician, but he was actually an escape artist too. So he loved to escape from things. So one day Houdini wrote in the local paper, said, I bet $100 to any jail that I can escape from your jail cell. And $100 was a lot back then. So local jail saw this in the paper and agreed to the bet. The whole town, thousands of people showed up. Harry was outside waving to everyone in the crowd, and everyone was cheering his name. Harry, Harry, Harry. So the guards put him in the handcuffs, walked into the jail, threw him in the jail cell, closed the door behind them, and they walked away. And Harry could still hear the cheers from outside in the jail cell. And he's saying to himself, man, this is great. I'm going to escape. I'll be successful. My reputation will skyrocket. Everyone will love me, and I'll get $100. I'll be the happiest guy alive. So he waited a few minutes, looked around to make sure no one was watching, and started taking off his clothes. He was in his underwear and his socks now. He takes off his sock, and there's a little key inside his sock. He takes the key, puts the key inside the handcuffs, throws the handcuffs on the floor, walks over to the door, puts the key inside the door, and the key doesn't work. He pauses and doesn't really know what to do. He starts panicking, pacing the room and sweating. He says, I've trained 5 years of my life for this moment. What am I going to do? Well, 5 minutes turned to 10 minutes, 10 minutes turned to an hour turned to 2 hours. Those cheers from outside start to fade away. And people gave up on him. And he realizes that his reputation is over. He's never going to be successful, and he gives up. He plopped himself on the floor all frustrated. But because he plopped himself on the floor, the room shook a little bit. And he heard a squeak next to him. He looks over and realizes that the door opened up a few inches. He looked a little bit more carefully and realized that no one was around. How did the door just open up? So Paul paused the story and looked at me and said, John, do you know how the door opened? Do you know how Houdini succeeded? I was so intrigued, and I said, Paul, I have no idea. How do you do it? Then Paul said, the answer has been right in front of you the entire time, John. Look over my shoulder. And I adjusted my eyes a little bit and looked over his shoulder and saw that bright green sign on the wall that was in front of me the entire time that said, the door is never locked. So in other words, the guards never locked the door for Houdini. So what's the lesson here? The lesson is that the answer to happiness and success can be right in front of us, and sometimes we miss it because we're looking at the situation from a different perspective. That story got me really fascinated with magic at a young age, and fast forward 15 years later, and I learned that real magic isn't about fooling people or tricking people. To me, real magic is simply anything in life that you thought was impossible become impossible. So if you have a goal in your life that you think is impossible to achieve, a personal goal, professional goal, something on your bucket list, but you just witnessed me perform magic, which again is the impossible become impossible, you'd be contradicting yourself if you think that your goal in life would be impossible to achieve as well. And I really think it starts with the little things in life, those small habits we do every day that add up to the big things. It's about how we can start changing our perspective one day at a time, one situation at a time. For instance, what if someone showed you a video highlight reel of your life the day before you passed away? You could fast forward through all the phases of your life, pause at specific moments to relive them, rewind at moments to realize how different your life could have been if you made a different decision. All the happiness, contentment, pleasure, depression, anger, confusion, could really be at your fingertips. You could witness how you perceived and react to every situation that, that ever happened to you. So I asked you, would you be proud of your life movie? Are you currently proud of your life movie? So the more I thought about it, the more I realized, when looking at a tombstone, most people look at the year you were born and the year you passed away, but what about that line in the middle? In essence, it resembles who you were and what you became. That small line symbolizes that story you told within your existence, only to be passed on by those who were closest to you. And what you do with this time is yours to decide. So it's up to you. Do you want to be a blur to society, or do you want to be a vivid memory who made a lasting impact for humanity? In my opinion, the world is your stage. Go and perform, right? Opening up that door you assume is locked, other side is a life full of possibilities. So I like to say, remember that impossible is just a word with the right perspective. Thanks, Kip, for having me.
Impossible is just the word. Now, if you ever have been around John in real life, okay, not virtually, in real life, I love the gear that he has out. Do you have any of the gear around you? You have I know you have a hat, and I love it. It says impossible is just the word. Do you have any around you? No,
I got the mug here.
You know what? I'm looking around to see if I have any of it.
Yeah, my hat's in the other room. I got a t-shirt. Impossible is just the word is my trademark phrase. So I like to I like to think about life in that way. With the right perspective. Impossible is just the word. So I love that Houdini story. It really shows that the answer was right in front of him, but he just was looking at the challenge from the wrong perspective. So, yeah.
So I'm actually interested. You got that phrase, right? Impossible is just the word. How long did it take you to find that, or did it find you one day? What was your journey in finding that?
That's a great question, Kit. So, essentially, I was I got to magic event around when I was 12, and I was doing shows here and there, and honestly, something just clicked one day. I said, I should probably have some sort of saying or motto or trademark or something. And it just kind of clicked. I'm like, oh, impossible just to wear. That's pretty cool. So I put on my business card, and I was handing out business cards, and people immediately were like, wow, I really like that phrase. I'm like, really? And every time I would say it, people kind of just like what you just said, that's kind of the big phrase that people bring up after my show. Like, wow, I really loved your message there. I really like the phrase. It's very simple, but it's very effective. So it kind of stuck with me, and I had that trademark now. So it's cool to have, your own phrase, and I own that. So it's kind of cool, impossible is just a word.
Yeah. I mean, definitely when you own it, hey, you all know now, John, get his gear. Impossible is just the word. Even if you don't have time to get his gear, write it down right in front of your notebooks right now. So John,
that's
thank
my
you.
website too. PossibleJustAword.com. That's my website
Impossible
too.
is just the word. Hey, it's branded. It's yours, John, forever. You trademarked it.
Exactly.
Hey, John, I want to say thank you so much. Hey, if you are loving what John is saying, let him know in the chat. Oh, man. Alex said earlier, man, the chat is getting spicy. Yeah. The chat is getting spicy.
Oh, man.
All right, everyone. How is John? Let him know in the chat. And next up, we're going to have my good friend Alex Bynum come on up. Now, if you have ever met Alex in person, she is an amazing person. She's really warm, a great human being. Now, Alex Bynum is a professional energy healer who owns and operates Empowering Path in Boston and in New Hampshire. She's passionate about spiritual transformation. Alex facilitates ancient healing modalities that have been around since the dawn of time, used by Mother Teresa, Einstein, Da Vinci, and the like. Alex has no doubt that anyone can achieve self-mastery using these time-tested techniques that have only been available to the public for 24 years. Now, Alex, I just want to say, welcome on up. Let me bring you up. Alex, how are you?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Kit. Thank you for having me.
Alex, I'm super excited that you're here. So actually, I don't think I ever asked this, but how did you get into what you're doing now?
I thought it was total BS. That's how I got into it. I literally was like, this is such a joke. Why am I doing this? I'm wasting money on this. But my friend, I owed him. So we had a bet. And I helped, he helped me with something. And then his payback was I had to go get an energy healing.
Okay, so you thought it was BS, and then you went to your first session.
Yeah.
Like, and did that change your mind? Like what happened in the first session? Was it the first session?
It was one of those. Am I allowed to cuss on this show? I don't know. Oh wow, but that wasn't the word I used. I was like, oh wow, this really works. So I just had that experience of I just knew that there was something there, and it was something different than anything I'd ever tried, and it was outside of the box, and I loved that.
Wow. Thank you, Alex. Okay. So the question to Alex and everyone, of course, is if tomorrow was your last day on earth, what life lesson would you share? Everyone, Alex Bynum, Alex, the stage is all yours.
She's sexy. She's soulful. She's been with me my entire life. She knows every memory and every moment of my story. She has been sick. She's been vibrant, alive, and well. She has suffered the hands of my abuse, and she's also been very well taken care of. Who is she? Does anyone want to guess in the chat right now? I'll give it like 5 seconds and then I'll keep going. Okay. She is my body. So hi, everyone. Thank you for having me tonight for LiveWords. I'm so excited to be here. As Kit said, my name's Alex Bynum, and you might know me as a professional energy healer, but I wanted to talk about something different tonight. In uncovering what lesson I wanted to share as if it was my last day on earth, I decided I want to talk about relationships. But I don't want to talk about your relationships with other people. I want to talk about your relationships to other really important things. The famous self-development guru, Tony Robbins, says, the quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. So the question tonight then becomes, how is your relationship with the important things in your life? Let's look at 3 different things tonight. Your body, your money, and COVID-19. One of the things that has really changed my life was when I began to refer to the important things in my life using a pronoun or the pronoun she. So men on the call tonight, you can use the pronoun he, or feel free to use whatever pronoun works best for you. As soon as I started referring to my body as a she, and I asked her what she needed, I noticed a drastic shift in my relationship with her. Questions like, how is she doing? What does she need? I began to treat my body as if she was another person with needs. This was really powerful for me because, as many people know, I battled a 17-year eating disorder that I've since healed. I put my body through a lot. She has been through a lot. By changing my relationship from it to her, I began to see her so differently. Just now, she is feeling excited to be here with all of you. So let's talk about another important relationship in your life, money. How's it going with her? Do you crumble her up in your purse or your wallet? Do you close your eyes when she's around? Do you get rid of her as fast as possible? Do you embrace her? Do you deny her? Again, the quality of your life is the quality of your relationships. So how's it going with her? I remember I used to treat money like she was scarce and unavailable. As soon as I got her, I'd start paying my bills as fast as possible, even if they weren't due yet, for fear that she wouldn't come back around. Now I get to breathe around money. I buy the things that bring me joy, like a puppy that you might be hearing in the background. I know that money will show up for me. I know that she will show up for me. And finally, we have to talk about our relationship to COVID-19, since it's ever present today. This is a relationship we were all forced into as of last March, whether we liked it or not, and one that I'm still working on. At first, I rejected COVID-19. I hated her. I judged her. I couldn't stand to be around her. It was as if she swooped into my life and ruined all of my plans. But one thing I could not deny was that she was here to stay, whether I liked it or not. Recognizing this, I realized I had to learn how to accept her. I didn't have to like her, but her presence is a reality for all of us at this time. Were you angry at Corona too? And have you found acceptance with her? Whether it's your body, your money, COVID-19, the importance of having powerful relationships with things cannot be stressed enough. As you use the pronoun he or she, or whatever is appropriate for you, these relationships literally begin to take on a different form so that true healing can come to pass. I challenge you tonight after this call to examine your relationship with these important things using pronouns and creating better relationships for yourself. In closing, she has a fast heartbeat. She's been excited to be here with all of you. She's here with me at this event, just like she's been here with me my entire life. Thank you, body. Thank you.
Wow, Alex, thank you so much for that. I was just reading the chat, at the very beginning, you're like, who is this? I was just reading the chat, people had some great comments, some funny ones. Wow, can we all give a virtual round of applause to Alex and of course the rest of our speakers as well. Alex, can I ask you, when you were coming up with that talk, like what was going through your mind? Like how did you create it? What was your process? Or what was going through your mind?
I didn't want to say something that a lot of people had heard before, because I feel like, every moment, whatever the topic was, there's a lot of different things, like every moment counts and those kind of things that we hear all the time. But I just wanted something a little bit different that has helped me in my life. So I was like, a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people use pronouns to heal their relationships with difficult things in their life. So it was just something that's really helped me in my life. And I thought that I would share that if today I died. So I wanted to share that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Alex. I think it was, again, it's super relevant, I think, to everyone as well right now. Alex, thank you so much. I'm going to bring all of our speakers up for one last time before we have all the other speakers go. So come on back up, everyone. Now, the funny thing is I can see people on the backside, when I say I'm going to bring them back up, they're like, oh. So John, Alex, or Kat, I just want to say thank you all so much. For you that's tuning in live right now, let's give them all a virtual applause, or in the chat, exclamation point, or a lovely emoji. Kat or anyone else, Alex or John, any last things you want to share?
I just want to say thanks to the other speakers because in their own way, we almost kind of have the same topic, right? Like talking about doing things and going out there and doing the thing that we want to do and inspiring others. So just want to say thank you for doing what you do and for being so open to sharing it with the world.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to echo that. I think kind of like what I said in my thing. Everything is based on perspective. So I think we each took this question and put our own spin on it based on our perspective, which I find that really things like this. So thank you, Kit, for organizing this and bringing the people together. I think to me that's real magic. Bringing people together that normally wouldn't communicate otherwise.
Thank you.
Awesome. I just want to say when Kit asked me, of course I said yes, and I'm so honored to share the stage with these other panelists. I've actually seen both of them speak before, so I feel really honored to be in their presence and with Kit and with all of you on the chat tonight. So thank you so much.
Great. Once again, Alex, John, and Kat, thank you so much for sharing the stage with us. Now I'm going to boot them all off, actually. Okay, so bye-bye now.
See you later.
That's how I love to do. Hey, thank you. Okay, go give them actually, no, wait. Before you go, where's the best place to follow all of you?
For me, it's LinkedIn. Oh, Instagram. Okay. For me, it's LinkedIn. So John Duke Logan on LinkedIn. I'm really active on there.
Got LinkedIn for John. Alex, what about you?
Empoweringpath.com is my website. Empowering Path.
Alex, are you on LinkedIn? Some people in the chat.
I am, yeah. Just type in Alex Bynum. I'm on there. Yeah.
Kat, what about yourself?
Yeah, so for me, it's Instagram and LinkedIn. Same. I just typed it in the chat. Catherine Storing. I saw somebody already reached out. Thank you for that. I will be responding. So thank you guys so much.
Again, thank you, everyone. Once again, I'm going to put up the wheel of names again. Okay, so we have Anna Lee. Again, I picked already Essie and Eileen. I want to pick the next few speakers too. So if you want to come up and speak, you let me know in the chat right now as I'm getting ready for this. So again, when you come up, you're going to have 6 minutes to share a life lesson based off the question of, if tomorrow was your last day on earth, what lesson would you share? So here's what we're going to do with the timer. And actually, I can choose a sound. Right now is on the horn. So I want to show you all what it sounds like when your 6 minutes are over. And actually, can you tell me if you can hear this in the chat? I'll wait for it to count down. Let me know if you can hear this in the chat. There's the horn. Can you all hear that? Let me know in the chat if you can all hear that horn sound. There's going to be 6 minutes there. So if anyone else, okay, thank you. You can all hear it. Now, I would love to ask, we're going to choose our next speakers. Are there any speakers that would like to speak? I'm going to choose the order that we're going to go in now. So let me know if there are speakers. So if you want to be a speaker, say, yes, I would like to speak. Because some people are just saying yes in general. So if you would like to be a speaker, let me know and let me add your name. So so Eileen and Essie. So Essie is going to go next, and Eileen, you're going to go after. I'm choosing the people that's going to go after you both. Okay, so if you would like to be a speaker, type in, yes, I would like to be a speaker. Okay, not just yes. So we have Lisa. Lisa, let me just add your name up here. Okay, let's see. Who else? Cedric, you said yes. Is that I like to speak? Carolyn, is that you would like to speak? Okay, yes. Okay, so yes, Anna Lee, your name is up here already. As you can see the wheel. I'm going to be choosing the speakers next. So Anna Lee, thank you so much. We have Anna Lee. We have Lisa. Yes. Catherine, yes, we can. Okay, would anyone else like to put their name on the speaking wheel? We're going to have 6 speakers in total, so we have room for one more speaker. So with that said, we're going to have Essie go next, Eileen afterwards. I'm going to choose 2 more right now, and we're going to go for the wheel of speakers. Let's see who's next after Eileen. Elaine. Ooh, Elaine. Okay, Elaine. You're going to be going third, Elaine. So again, if you would like to come up and speak, let me explain the guidelines again. So when you come up and speak, you will have 6 minutes to answer the question. If tomorrow was your last day on earth, what lesson would you share? And if you can share a personal story, that would be the best. Okay. So I'm going to choose the next speaker that's going up. So let's see who we have. So we have Elaine going third. I'm going to choose one more speaker for now. And we have Lisa. Okay, Lisa. Annalie, we'll put you back there. I said one more speaker, but okay, here is the order that we're gonna be going in. Okay, Essie, Elaine, Lisa, and then Annalie. Okay, so Essie, I want to welcome you up right now. And for the speakers who are not up yet on stage, I'll give you a link. So Essie, it's time to turn on your camera because I'm going to bring you on up.
Okay. Can you all see me? Hear me?
We can all hear you. Essie, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, it's Essie.
Essie, first of all, thank you for raising your hand and coming up to speak. So Essie, the question to all of us and to you is, if tomorrow was your last day on earth, what lesson would you share? So Essie, I'm going to give you the virtual stage and it's all yours.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kit. First off, I'm really excited to be here. It's my first time joining this group, and so I'm excited to meet everyone. And to be honest, I can't really top all the speakers who spoke. I feel like they have a lot of experience, and well, I also have experience in training and personal development and all of that fun stuff. I'm not acclaimed yet, so just some few things I have here based on experience. So one thing that I would say in terms of and things I will share if tomorrow's my last day on earth will be have fun along the way and don't take things too seriously. So this is for me personally. When I was in college, I was always going to class, very focused and studying all the time, right? And I missed out on the social part of life, and after graduating, I realized that it's actually a very important skill, being sociable, being friendly and meeting people and getting to learn from people. So that's one thing that I have for me, right? To have fun along the way and really, not take things too seriously. It's important to be focused, but you also have to work on the social part of life, right? And the second thing would be, don't compare your life to other people, right? Their journey is different from your journey. I feel that sometimes when we see people accomplishing so much in their life or having a lot of things that we wish we had, it's just it's just jealousy sometimes, and also wishing for more and more, right? I would say that people's life journeys are different from ours. So we have to appreciate what we have and really take time to enjoy the things we have, so that's one thing that I will also point out. Another thing that I would say is, don't listen to people who tell you that something can be done. It's usually their limitation, for example, before I went to school, I went to Northeastern. I went to a community college, and I was telling people that I want to move to Boston. I lived in New York then. I want to move to Boston and go to one of the best schools here. But, a lot of people were telling me that it can be done and that it's expensive and so many other things. But I realized that it's their limitation, right? How would I know that it can be done if I haven't tried it yet? Okay, so I did my best, and I actually got a lot of scholarship to go to Northeastern. So I realized that really don't listen to people. Well, sometimes you have to listen to the best advice, of course, from experienced people or expert, but also listen to your intuition, listen to yourself. You know what you want best. Okay, so that's one thing that I have for me. And also, another thing that I have on here is being grateful for the little things. You know, sometimes, like I mentioned earlier, we are always looking for more and always want more, and really not taking the time to breathe and consume all the things that we have, right? So for me, for example, I meditate a lot. So this helps me, be thankful, be in the moment, and really consume, all the things that I have, all the little things that I have in my life. And also another thing that I want to point out is always be yourself and be authentic. I feel that in this world, we try, well, for me, in my past life, I try to please people. I want to be liked so much that I kind of lose myself in that process. And so that's one thing for me. I'm always going to strive to be myself in any situation, because that's who I am. I can't be anyone else. Everyone else is taking. I am the only person that's not taking, right? Because I am me. So that's something that I also wanted to point out. And lastly, I think some of the speakers mentioned this. Whatever goal you have, and whatever you want to achieve, go for it. Okay, like I said, a lot of people might tell you that you can't do it or it can be done. It is usually their limitation. Always their limitation, because they tried it and failed, and they were afraid to do it again, right? Or they were not determined enough to go after their goals. So usually listen to yourself. Whatever you want to do, go for it. Try it. It's better to try and fail and then do it again than sit down and regret that you haven't done that, So that's one thing that I also will say, that is a really important thing to think about as we live our life. So that's all I have for today. Is my time up? Should I keep going?
You have actually 20 more seconds if you want to get in 10 more seconds.
Time. Well, then that's it. That's all I have for today. Thank you.
All right, everyone, let's give Essie a virtual round of applause. Thank you. Even though you can't see them, Essie, well, you can see some people on the back end. We're clapping for you. If you're in the audience right now, which one of those life lessons did you enjoy? Let us know in the chat. Essie, I just want to say thank you so much for coming up and sharing with us your thoughts, your wisdom, and your stories.
I like this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to bring Eileen on up. Eileen, I hope you're ready, because they're going to come on in 3, 2. Okay, I counted early. 1, here we go. Eileen, how am I pronouncing your name right? Eileen? Oh, Eileen. Eileen just left. We're going to wait for her sometime. This is the only other side of, if this was in person, she would have ran away, but she ran away virtually. Now we're going to wait for her to come back. Some tech issues going on here. Eileen, no, just she came back. Eileen, are you here?
Can you see me?
Oh yeah, I can see you.
I'm here. Do I press? Oh, you can?
You don't need to press anything. I'm pressing everything.
Yes, I seem to be having. Okay. Oh, perfect. So, wow. First of all, I'm having connection issues. Can you hear me? So
yeah, I can hear you.
That is a big lesson. You never know what the hell is going. You never know what's going to come your way. So, you could be like a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout, always prepared, or you could just believe that you are enough. And I think that is a very important lesson, because we heard a lot of things so far today. Use your intuition, love yourself, listen to yourself, just do it. Nothing's impossible. Follow through with what, interests you. Be authentic. And these are all themes I wanted to touch on. But I think the most important thing is to really be kind. And it really reminds me of a time when I lived in New York City for a long time. And, you know, in New York City, we take the subway, we take the bus, we get around however we can. And, you know, I had a long day. I had you know, like one of our first speaks, big job, you know, 6-figure job, lots of pressure, lots of crap going on. And, you know, I wanted to get home, and it was a long day, and, you know, couldn't get uptown. There was no bus, no taxi. So I'm on the subway, and this guy, and it's rainy and it's wet and I'm soggy, and everybody is soggy, you know how it gets in the rain, and, you know, the umbrellas are poking, and this guy keeps poking me. Now, of course, I'm scared I'm going to fall on the track, but this guy keeps poking me. And then I realize, you know, and I turn around to like be mad or be angry, you know, thinking I'm the only one who had a bad day. I'm the only one who has these problems. I'm the only one who has a babysitter. I'm paying overtime or whatever. And I turn around and I see that this guy is blind. And in that minute, of course, my whole feeling changed. And I think that's really the story of life. Like, you think one thing, but it's really probably something else. And you really need to look at the cues and look at who you are and look at what you're doing to really get the most out of it. You know, a lot of us are Star Wars fans, or, you know, Star Trek fans, or, you know, Harry Potter fans. And it's all about your feelings. It's all about what you bring to it. And do you really show up in a way that helps or hurts the situation? And over my time, I've really learned that I need to help the situation. So I have a mantra that I say, which is say what you mean what you say, but don't say it meanly. And that really helps me to say, oh, wait, stop pushing me. So I didn't take the guy's head off. You know, I could have been nice. It doesn't matter his circumstance. I have to show up nice. And, you know, I think we all, you know, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on, you know, we want leaders to be kind and nice and to show us how to show up for themselves and for us. So I say, really show up and be kind. It's very important. Now, part of being kind is knowing that you are enough. It doesn't matter if you're the one that, you know, paid for the kidney replacement operation or whatever it is. I'm being sarcastic, obviously, but it doesn't matter if you bring the cookies, if you send a bill, if you make a huge donation. Really, all you have to do is show up and be willing.
Well, I think Eileen got booted off virtually there. Let's see if she comes back. I was just surprised to see my face pop on right up. Oh, hey, she goes. Come on back.
My end, see, be prepared for the unprepared and go with it. Use it. I've had a lot of surprises in my life, and I've survived a lot of things. But if today was my last day, I wouldn't change anything, because to me, my life is what I do every day. And when I was younger, I spent time trying to make money and making sure everybody liked me and managing and dealing with my mother and dealing with my lover and dealing with this, dealing with that, and my co-op board. You know what? And now I really am back to the simple things. A good bowl of soup, a good cup of coffee, a good conversation with a friend, a nice new experience. I mean, I think that's key. Have new experiences as much as you can. Get out of your comfort zone, know you are enough, and be kind. And a lot of people say, you know, if you want to change, all you have to do is make one small little change every day. And I kind of have an addendum to that. If you want to change your direction, don't only make one little change every day, make a small claim every day. Set your intent. I want to be audacious. I want to come out here and speak. I want to be happy. I want to fall in love. And it happened for me beyond my wildest dreams. So say what you mean what you say, and definitely, you know, set your intent. And while you're doing it, go out there and be audacious. That is my signature word. Be bold, be brave, be loud, be for yourself, because if you're not enough first, who else will be? And my last piece of advice happens to be with, because we all deal with other people, is don't be annoying. Like many of the other speakers who went first, I have a book and you can find me. If you Google managing annoying people, you will find me. And that brings me to my favorite acronym, which is TEAM. Together, everyone annoys me. So I am used to figuring out how to get out of these situations and how to enjoy my day when things aren't going right, when the line's too long, when the cash register breaks.
Well, her website or her web just broke down for her, but she's gonna come back in like 10 seconds. But I just want to give a side note here. Man, team together, everyone annoys me. I was writing that down as you were saying it. Hey, oh, Eileen, you're back. Okay, come back.
Am I back? Yeah, so yeah, together everyone annoys me. And my goal is to be kind and to get through my day without chewing off their head and to make sure I add some value when I'm kind. So, you know, most of us think we're not enough, so we talk louder, we go louder, we're quicker, we try to show off. But believe me, most of you are not only enough, as you heard from our 4 previous speakers, you are more than enough. So I say, go forward, don't annoy people, be kind, make your intentions, and remember, life is what you do every day, and you are enough. Go forward, be audacious, and go smile, because when you smile, it changes everything. So thanks for having me, Kit.
Oh, Eileen, thank you. That was 6 minutes, but I gave you a little bit more because you kept on cutting in and out. Great job. First of all, I want to say to everyone, Eileen got cut off, I don't know, 2 or 3 times, but she came back and she still finished it. Okay. It did not actually. How did you feel when you kept on getting cut off and then you came back and cut off? How were you feeling actually? I think so.
Where I live, we have a joke. I mean, I live in a big city. Am I off again?
Yeah, you're here. You're here.
Where I live, we have a joke. The internet sucks when there are leaves on the trees or it's raining. So we have bad service all the time. So, you know, you get used to it. But it's like life. Roll with the punches, pick it up, don't be embarrassed, and just keep going.
Right. Eileen, I just want to say thank you so much for coming up and sharing. People are loving you in the chat. So, Eileen, thank you so much for today. All right. Next, we're gonna have Elaine. Elaine, you're not in the back yet. I'm not sure where you are. I put the link in the chat on, but click into the chat. So here is what we're gonna have next. Elaine is supposed to go up next, and then we have Lisa and then Anna Lee. So I'm gonna welcome Lisa. I hope you are ready. Lisa, are you ready? Let me know if you are ready. Lisa, put on your screen. If not, I'm going to go on to the next person, but Lisa, oh, here we go. Lisa is here. Lisa, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. So Lisa, and I'm going to give you the virtual stage and give you 6 minutes. And again, the question is, if tomorrow was your last day on Earth, what lesson would you share? Okay. All yours.
Great. A little over a year ago, I decided that it was time to redesign my life. I had spent years teaching theater, teaching English, teaching writing, and other courses as adjunct faculty in various colleges and universities. And between the constant battle of trying to convince people how important the arts is, unreliability of my schedule, and this kind of trend that's going on in academia right now that focuses on college as a business rather than a place to learn, I was burnt out. I still loved working in the classroom. I loved mentoring people and the kind of collaboration that's available there, but I was just so tired of the rest. I didn't want to grade anymore. I didn't want to deal with reluctant students. And I had grown to dislike like the politics of academia. I was trying to find a way to make a real change in the world, doing the arts, doing writing, creating in different ways. But I kept working even though I was ready to change. Then pandemic hit, as we all know. And I had to do, like so many other teachers, had to figure out a way how to create a course, to move a course that was very, it's performance-based, public-facing, was intended to be out in the public, and I had to turn it into something that worked virtually. It was exhausting. I managed to do it, but it was exhausting, nudging me a little closer to really giving up. Over the summer, I thought a lot about it. And then because of the pandemic, I was dropped down to one course load. And if anyone knows the politics of academia, an adjunct faculty person cannot survive on one course load. They can barely survive on the number that they have. So it pushed me, and they were pressuring me. It ended up changing, but they were kind of pressuring me to go to teach live, which I was not willing to do. I'm I followed the rules of the pandemic. So I quit, not knowing where I was going. And of course, then I didn't realize that we were going to still be here now, that it was 6 months later, we would still be locked down. I didn't realize how hard it would be to find new work and to start a new career. So I hit kind of a rough point. Now you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with the question? But trust me, I'm getting there. This isn't really a story about that struggle. It's a story about the wisdom I have learned because of the struggle. And it's also a story that starts with someone else. Several years ago, I met a young man named Chris, and he was tall. He was about a foot taller than me. I'm only 5 feet tall, so it doesn't take much to get taller than me. But he was very tall, and I had to look way up to see his face. But anytime I looked up, I never saw his eyes, because whenever I looked up, he looked way, 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 way down, staring at the floor. He never looked at me. He would only answer to me in small mumbled words, and he wouldn't speak to me. Now, without being told, I knew he was somewhere on the autistic spectrum. He also was a member of the transition program from our nearby public school system, which was 18 to 22-year-olds who struggle with various degrees of physical challenges and learning disabilities. So, I mean, I knew something was up anyway. He was in my college classroom. Why was he there? It was the first time we were collaborating between the transition group and college students. Over the semester, these two very different groups would come together to create, write, devise, and perform a show for elementary school students. It was so hard. It was glorious fun. The transition students came once a week. They built sets. They did all sorts of wonderful things. They wrote a play about animals escaping the zoo and meeting new friends in the jungle. It really was a play about diversity and differences and people coming together. And through the whole time, Chris kept his eyes on the floor and rarely spoke. But then, and something lit up in him. So by the final performance, his role was that of a lion. He took the stage. He roared onto that stage. He glowed. He said lines loudly and clearly. He improvised when things went wrong. And then at the celebration afterwards, he rushed over to me with this huge smile on his face. He looked me straight in the eyes, and he started talking as if he couldn't get the words out quickly enough. And his joy just spilled over in language. He had new dreams, and he was determined. He was someday going to be an actor. He has since written Tom Hanks and said he wanted to be Tom Hanks, and it's all been wonderful. So again, what does this have to do with my story, with my quitting, and with the life lessons of if tomorrow was my last day on earth? In the middle of the pandemic, I found myself shutting down, staring at the ground, fearful that I would never find my voice, never find my way, unsure of how to move forward. But then I thought about Chris. He showed me that if you find something inside you that you love, it doesn't matter if you know how to do it. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. All that matters is the joy and the journey, and all that matters is having the courage to roar onto that stage. So my advice, if today was my last day on earth, is simple. Take chances, follow your joy, and every once in a while, roar. Thank you.
Yeah, every once in a while. Well, man, thank you so much, Lisa, for that and for sharing with us. I just wanted to let you know the timing that you came in, if you were ever interested. You came in at 5 minutes.
Ooh, pretty good, I think, or too fast. I don't know.
No. The pacing was really good. It was not fast at all. Yeah. So Lisa, thank you just for coming up and for sharing with us. And if you all love what Lisa was sharing, let her know in the chat. Of course, if this was live virtually, we'll all be hearing claps right now. But of course, we can't hear anything right now because it's just me. I'll clap for them. So Lisa, thank you once again for coming up.
Okay, bye.
All right, everyone. So I want to see who else would like to speak. Annalie, you are get ready because they're going to go up soon. Elaine, I want to see. Let me know if you're having technical difficulties. Actually, I've noticed that not everyone was able to log into the chat to chat. So what I want to do is, if you are here right now, let me move the screen a little bit. If you are here right now, okay, and if you do want to speak and I did not get your name out there, my apologies. I want you to text me. I'm putting in my number right here on the front. If you can see, I'm going to put it in the link right here. It's going to be 857-753-8211. If you are unable to text, or I'm sorry, if you're unable to chat in the YouTube chat or in other channels, text me. I want to speak, and then give me your name because the name doesn't come through. 857-753-8211. It's also here as you can see, 857-753-8211. And while we are waiting for people, and if you would like to speak, put up your name too. We have a few more spots available. Let me know in the chat. Let's play a little game right now, okay? The game we're going to be playing is actually called Would You Rather? I think, well, this is not a new game for all of us, but I would love to see what you are thinking in the chat, okay? So actually, would you rather, let me know in the chat and I'll tell you what I'm thinking. Would you rather lead a boring life from here forward, or would you rather be reborn with all your memories into a baby of the opposite sex, okay? Would you rather? Which one would you choose? Let me see which one I would choose. Let me see. Okay, would you rather lead a boring life, or would you rather be reborn with all your memories and the baby of the opposite sex? Okay, let me know in the chat. Which one would you choose? I think I would be reborn with all my memories into a baby of the opposite sex. I think that would be actually very interesting to see my life from a different perspective. I don't think my life is boring. Okay, but what would you choose? A or B? Okay, I'm going to do another one. So if you would like to speak, please type your name in or text me at 857-753-8211. I'm going to put another one. Would you rather? Would you rather lose your front teeth in a skateboarding accident or break your hands on a bike? Man, these are man, these are dangerous. Okay, would you rather? Oh, I didn't flip it. Here we go. Oh, okay. I read a different one. Okay. Would you rather sleep? I have two tabs open. Okay. Would you rather sleep in your parents' bed? Actually, can you guys see this updating right now? Yeah, I think you can see it updating because I have two of these tabs open. Let me close one of them. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now I'm this YouTube one. Okay. Okay. Videos up. No, I just closed it. Would you rather? Okay, let me bring it back up. We're going to do one more. This is me having so many screens on right now. Okay, here we go. Would you rather? Okay. Would you rather watch Are You Afraid of the Dark or read Goosebumps? Oh, this is an old school one. Would you rather watch Are You Afraid of the Dark or read Goosebumps? Have you ever? Oh, man, let me see. I remember this. I was really scared with Afraid of the Dark when I first started watching it. Like reading, Goosebumps. I remember those books from the schools. They weren't that scary. So I think I would rather. I don't know. I would rather watch Afraid of the Dark because it made me really scared the first time. A lot of people are saying read Goosebumps. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. So would you rather? Okay, let me find it. Would you rather live in the time of the ancient Romans or Greeks, or would you rather live in the Dark Ages? I would live in the Roman Greeks. I want to wear one of those. What do you call those? What do you call them? You guys know what I'm talking about. I just forgot the name right now. So would you rather live in the Dark Ages, or would you rather live in the times of the ancient Roman Greeks? Yeah, we'll see. Okay, put your answer into the chat because we're gonna go to the wheel of names. So we have Shaheen and Sheila. Actually, no, I think Shaheen left. So we have Sheila that's left. Sheila, I'm gonna give you the link. I'm gonna email you the link because I don't think you can get on from the chat. So we're gonna have Sheila. I'm just gonna pick her name and let's go with the real. Okay, because we're gonna give you your confetti. Here we go, Sheila. Yeah, good job, Sheila. Okay, so for those who are watching right now, okay, toga, yes, Doc, thank you. Yeah, it's a toga. I just want to say hi to everyone that's watching right now. Eileen, thank you for sharing with us earlier. I see you as well. Anna Lee, you're going to be coming up next, so I hope you're ready. Doc, thank you for listening. Lisa, thank you so much. Sharon, I want you all to know Sharon will be one of our featured speakers in our next LiveWords, which is on February 18th. So I'm going to say, write that date down right now if you want to attend. And also Veronica, who is on this chat as well, is going to be one of our other featured speakers. Leela is here as well. Hi, Leela. And Casey, thank you for just showing up. Okay. Annalise, she's been waiting patiently. Annalise, I'm going to bring you on up right now. Oh, let me close the wheel first. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Oh, good. Well, Annalie, I'm going to give you the stage. And of course, the question to you is, if tomorrow was the last day on Earth, what lesson would you share? So, Annalie, the stage is all yours.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So, I will start by a story. It's very long. I'm actually writing a manuscript with it. I may never really be able to add all the details, but it's really important because that's what started my pursuit of truth. And yes, I wrote a manuscript called In the Pursuit of Truth. And so when I was a child, I come from a place where I've always heard my parents everywhere around me was, I do not play or nobody messes with me. It was also taught that you should not let anybody mess with you. That gives you respect. That is the center of the dignity of most humans. At the time I was a child, at the time I started to realize the truth about these teachings, I thought it was only in the place I come from. But as I grew up and I learned more stories, I became a member of a blog and I learned more, I realized it's a matter in most human beings. And it starts with pride. But let's focus on where I learned it first. So yes, I almost got contaminated with it. I thought when I grew up, I will be that strong. Do not play lady and nobody will mess with me. But then I have to start with, as a child, I didn't have a good childhood. Like I was not allowed to watch TV except rarely. That's another story. But then when I started to really watch TV was when most of my family came to the US and I would watch TV most freely. It started when I was 11 and I watched movies that taught me a lot. When I was 11 to 13, it was movies that taught me a lot. Then later it was also books and real stories of people. That movie I watched, it was a soap opera. I watched two ladies teach me a lot. And they taught me really important things, like real dignity is not what I was taught as a child. Real dignity is patience. Real dignity is understanding. Real dignity is wisdom. I learned that humility matters. And much later, I learned that it was the pride that humans think to be the key to dignity that has destroyed a lot of young people and has made a high stake for children. I've had a very, very bad childhood and a very traumatic youth because of the pride humans thinks to be the key to honor and dignity. But I believe that if we consider the for dignity, I said in one of my piece of writing, the best pride one can have is humility. These two people I watched in the soap opera taught me that with humility, one can change anybody, and it can also fill your heart with love. That woman, one of the women in that soap opera, with her humility, she was able to change a whole area by being an example herself. And one may not realize now, and it has to be I have to get into a lot of detail for people to get to what I'm trying to say, but yes, sometimes your humble behavior can inspire other people. I am not in that stage yet, but I want to get in that stage. I do believe that humility is somehow the way. So I can read a quote where it says, Augustine said, "It was pride that changed angels into devils. It's humility that make men as angels." And also this, it says that with pride there are many curses, with humility there comes many blessings. And this is said by Ezra Taft Benson. I know my time is already almost up, but try to be the less of that. I do not let people mess up around with me and let people go on. Sometimes the humility can just help somebody else, because most of the time what we think of others and our grandiose self is really not. Thank you.
All right, Anna Lee, thank you so much. You were right. You were actually right at like around 6 minutes, and thank you for sharing your message with us. Humility, it's powerful. You know, I don't hear that word used a lot. Even though a lot of people, mean it. Maybe we feel it around people. I think it's a great reminder, and just thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. I kind of believe it's mostly powerful at that time because a lot of people, I wish some or many people who died knew that, because there are so many we can do when we choose to not really lower ourselves. People think being humble is lowering ourselves. Like, I'm Christian to say, well, and I've seen a lot of people around me, when the pastor preaching says the same word, they would be like, oh, so let other people treat you like a dog. But it doesn't mean that. I've tried, and it kind of helps a little bit. Sometimes our own pride is destroying other people. And sometimes if we chose to be humble, we would be able to help other people. And I think that is one of the first key humans have to consider before they start making changes. It can be a great way to start making changes in the world, because one person cannot change the world, but if people make just one a good choice, it can start now.
Wow, man. And Annalie, I'm saying, just speaking from wisdom, I hope everyone just took in what Annalie said. Annalie, you're going to make it far one day. When I hear you speak, I just feel like there's so much confidence and power coming from you. And, and also it's not that it's from you, but I feel like you're also giving your strength to us, the audience right now. So Annalie, I just want to say thank you for coming and sharing with us today.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have our last speaker go up. I hope if you're watching this live right now, I hope that you are enjoying this. Let Annalie know. Give us some feedback in the chat. Annalie can. People are clapping for you right now. Look into the chat. Give us some feedback. Give her your thoughts. But again, if we have never met before, my name is Kit, or maybe you're just popping in right now, and I'm here to help you with your public speaking. And one of the best ways to work on your public speaking is to come up and share on stage. So we have this event, LiveWords. It happens every single month, along with other events that we have. And again, the speakers that come up, they have to answer the question of, well, if tomorrow was your last day on earth, what lesson would you share with others? And also, if you have not really been part of the Boston Speaks community yet, I would like to say we have a lot of things going on, like the Boston Speaks YouTube channel. I'm just popping on here. Right now, as you can see, we're going live right now. Give it a subscribe. We also have interviews going on, like next week. We'll be talking with Ruby about how to overcome stage fright and performance anxiety. I wanted to spotlight an event that we have, and it's called How to Speak Like a Leader. This is our monthly panel. We used to have this in person with a nice place, but we're doing this all virtually now. The next one is How to Speak Like a Leader. This is on Friday, February 19th. I hope you can make it out in the morning, 10 a.m. for 11 a.m. And again, make sure that if you want to stay in touch and keep on growing as a speaker, come on over to the Boston Speaks YouTube channel. So without further ado, we have our last speaker, Sheila. She's been waiting patiently as well. Sheila, I'm going to bring you up. Get ready.
Yes.
Sheila, how are you?
Hi, good. And you?
Good, thank you. Okay, Sheila, I'm going to give you 6 minutes on the clock. Again, the question is, if tomorrow was your last day on earth, what lesson would you share? So everyone that's tuning in live right now, let's give your attention to Sheila. And Sheila, the stage is yours.
I believe that the last thing I would say before I die the next day would be to someone I really love or anyone who is in need, would be just know yourself from within. Find your inner capabilities and be passionate about what you really like to do, and use your best agenda to follow your passion. Know your whys, how and what you want to do, and just plan on that. I think the best thing for someone is to find that turning point of her life, because we all have a calling. We all have something that comes to us sooner or later. So we have to be a good problem solver and a good critical thinker in order to being able to remove all the obstacles on our way. And I've always used this formula. To do that, you have to have a strategy for yourself. Those strategies are, you always have to predict. Then you have to prevent. You have to prepare, and then you have to plan. And in order to do that, you have to be just very pinpointing on what you want. You have to have enough passion in order to be able to relay your message to those of needs, because you have to solve a problem. When you do something out of a passion, you do it so compassionately that you want to help others the same way, especially if you've experienced it in your life. For me, that critical point was when I lost my mom. And with the research and teaching experiences I've had before, I don't know, my perspective changed in a way that I thought that I need to make some awareness, I need to make some changes. Although I've always been involved with academia, I wanted it to share it with more people, like as a public speaker, and be a motivational educational speaker and share what I have learned, what I have experienced in my life. I think I've got to that point. So I got to that turning point of my life that I like to do it. And especially as I mentioned, that platform I had in Minnesota International Pageant, that was another inspiration for me. I wanted it to just inform students, teachers through that platform. Through that platform, I wanted it to inform everybody, like the families, teachers, school principals, the public, that we need more women in science. And my platform was mainly focused on STEM, which was like science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And after that, I think the feedback was very positive. The feedback I got, and I thought that I could share that to a lot of more women or a lot of more people that are really scared of science, because science is not hard if they have their hands-on practice. And so that's the other aspect of my life, that I want people, the day I'm gonna die, the day after, I would tell my son, my friends, or everybody around me, just find that jewel within you. There is nothing outside. Everything is inside you. Whatever we search is from us. It's within us. So we have to look for it, find it, and passionately follow it. And in order to do that, and in order to be successful, I think I would tell that love yourself deeply, because that way you love others. And when you love others, you can devote yourself better, and you be more authentic, you be more sincere, and you have more empathy. That would be my message.
Sheila, thank you so much. I just want to let you know the timing that you came in, 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay, so if I could ask you a question, Kit, that would be good. What is your purpose of doing these sessions?
Well, one of the biggest purpose of LiveWords, you mean what you came on to talk about?
No, not for I mean for today's session. What is it that you are looking for? What is the final point of our discussions, or where are we going? Do you work with the speakers, or do you have I don't know. I mean, let's say, what is the plan? What is your platform? What is it that you are giving through this work? This webinar we had today. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure that I understand.
Oh, yes. And thank you for asking that question. I wake up every day, and this is in my profile, but I really wake up every day helping people and trying to help people become exceptional speakers. And this is another platform, because I really believe that most of the time as speakers, we don't get a chance to experiment with our speaking. Sometimes when we have to speak in front of a crowd, maybe it's a Zoom meeting, maybe it's high stakes presentation, we don't get a chance to just be ourselves. And if all of you are wondering, I should have said this earlier too, LiveWords is actually a creation of, I love the Moth. Have any of you ever heard of the Moth before? So basically the Moth is a storytelling competition where people go on kind of like this and they share stories. But sometimes when I'm watching the Moth, I kind of want like a lesson. I don't know. I'm one of those people. I'm like, what's the lesson behind this? That's why I also enjoy watching TEDx talks too. TEDx talks, they always have this big idea. So I wanted that to come together. Basically, TEDx coming together with the Moth is this event where people can share stories and then put a lesson behind it. Professionally, if you do not know, I'm the founder of BostonSpeaks, and I help people just like yourself and all of you watching live right now improve your public speaking skills, whether if it's getting over a fear of public speaking, going from boring to engaging, or just knowing how to be a persuasive and influential speaker. So I hope that helps, Sheila, and everyone.
Sure, yeah. Because my actually my goal, my intention is to be, what I said today, it was just like a brief mindset that I had in my mind. I have a lot to share. I have a lot to say. And I think that all of us don't know everything. So there are a lot that we all can share. And we can help people to just find their best way possible. And I think I like to do that. I like to make that awareness. And the reason why I don't know where I was on, to be honest with you, where I was online, because sometimes I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram too. But I saw your name, Kit Pink, somewhere within, like I was within a search, and then I saw your name. And then I noticed that I read like the biography about you, that you have worked with NFL, you have worked with Harvard University, School of Businesses students, and all those people. And I don't know, I kind of relate myself to you because it's been like only 1 month that I've been seriously, I found my passion, like let's say in 2016 when I lost my mom. And but since then I haven't been serious about it to look for like things. And unfortunately with this pandemic, the COVID-19, everything is stopped, everything is dead. So I've been home like for a long time, everybody almost been like this. But my inspiration, again, as I mentioned in my talk, my inspiration started when I had that platform and I won the pageant, being the Mrs. Burnsley pageant. I'm from Minnesota. And I think that really inspired me, because when I was preparing myself for the stage talk, what I noticed that everything came right from inside. You know what I mean? It wasn't like something that I had prepared. It came from my heart. And that's how I found out that, okay, if I talk by my heart, then people can get it with their heart. They would love it. And I've taught before. And I know the feedbacks, the students would give. And I don't know, it's been very good connection. We had very good dialogues, very good communication. And
Sheila, just thank you for saying that. And there's one thing I want to say. I want to touch upon some of your points, and I'm going to wrap up the show for today because you were our last speaker. One thing I want to say is some of the points that our audience might be thinking right now, as a speaker coach, okay? If you want to ever get out there as a speaker, or maybe you're speaking, you're working at a job and you have to give weekly updates, or you want to be a speaker. Most of the time, yes, we do have this passion inside of us. Maybe we have this passion. Maybe we don't know the passion. But a lot of questions that people have is, I have this talk that I want to give, but I don't know who my audience really is, but I just want to talk and I want to speak, okay? So, yes, you have to know what you're passionate about and what your topic should be. But you also need to ask, what does my audience need from me? How can I solve more problems for my audience? Here's the reason. Let's say I love talking about my cats, okay? I love talking about my cat, which is around like this tail gonna walk across right now, okay? Let's say I love talking about my cats. I love talking about it, but what if no one wants to hear about me talking about my cat, okay? That's why it's super important for you to pay attention to your audience. Sorry, my cat is knocking over my chips. This is what I do when I watch you guys. When you guys are speaking, I'm eating my bag of chips. One thing I have to say is, as a speaker, know what you want to say, but more importantly, your main job as a speaker is to help your audience get to their next level, okay? Yes, it's good to ask, what are my stories? What can I speak about? But you need to start asking more, and this is for everyone, what problems can I solve for my audience? Where does my audience want to go? And how does my story help them go from A to B? Okay, it's just not about your story. It's about how can my story help them achieve what they want. Okay, so we need to also flip that side of things. But I just want to say, Sheila, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us today. So Sheila was our last speaker. And thank you all watching live right now and tuning in to LiveWords. We're going to have our next LiveWords on Thursday, February 18th, and we're going to have some great featured speakers that's going to be sharing their stories and lessons as well. If you want to stay in touch, feel free to go on BostonSpeaks.com and get the latest updates. And again, if you want help with your public speaking, go to BostonSpeaks.com. Maybe you have a fear of public speaking. Maybe you're saying too many ums and filler words. It could be, you feel like you're not charismatic enough. So feel free to go on BostonSpeaks.com. We have a lot of great events live in classes as well. But thank you to those who came up on stage to share with us. Thank you for sharing your experiences, wisdom, and your life lessons. Now, if you did not share, thank you for being in the audience and for tuning in and for chatting with the rest of us as well, because your energy is also giving the speakers energy as well. So I want to say thank you everyone for coming out tonight again. Let's have a great rest of the week and let's take care now. Thank you everyone. Bye-bye.